Final here in Logan, Utah State outlast Weber State 83-73. I think this is a much improved Weber State team over what they were last year.
Yeah.
I think Eric Duft has got these guys ready to go and should be after taking University of Utah into overtime a few nights ago and beating a team by almost 100 earlier in the year. This can be a good Weber State team. Today's post-game show brought to you by Farm Bureau agent Brandon Jensen. Contact him today, 435-752-4800. It's your future. Time to protect it. Let's go through some scoring. As Karson Templin leads the way for Utah State, 16 points, 5 rebounds. Clark ends up with 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. Or excuse me, no, that's Kolby King tonight. I'm sorry, with 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. You go down the list. Balslev with 10, Collins with 7. Tucker Anderson ends up with 9 points on the night tonight. Drake Allen left the game late in the first half with an ankle injury, was helped off the court, and then came back in for warm-ups to start the second half and looked like there might be a chance that he may go, but I think they wisely decided to hold him out. Keller with 4, Gary Clark with 13 points and 5 rebounds. Spencer, overall good night. What do you think?
Almost as good looking as Gary Wilkinson as on a Wednesday night. Is what the Aggies look like tonight.
Nobody makes the blue blazer work as good as
the blue
Gary
blazer. Larry did a great job on the TV tonight, but radio. That's what the people listen to.
Henning with 19 points tonight, 6 rebounds and 1 assist. He goes along with Burris, who had 15 points and 12 rebounds. Nice night for him. I got to see how many offensive rebounds Burris had as you look down the list here. Burris ended up with 4 offensive rebounds, 12 total, and really played well tonight.
Yeah, super active, chased the ball a ton. Him and Henning, like you said, Jace Whiting kind of quiet, same, not doing a lot. Your boy from Canada, just doing a great job from the three-point line, but not able to do much else.
9,124, your official attendance in this one. We'll take a break. Come back. You'll hear from Jerrod Calhoun straight ahead. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield.
When the snow starts flying, be sure your tires are ready. At Express Tire, they work with all vehicles and all tire sizes with safety and comfort a priority. As a Point S Tire team member, you're backed by a nationwide warranty that includes roadside protection. No appointment needed. Just stop in and they'll get your tires winter ready. 3200 North Main.
Express Tire. Tires for less.
Express Auto, where tires and service come together.
Thank you for letting Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic, and the Hearing Aid Center care for your family this year. Be sure to call us for an appointment before the end of the year to make the most of your cafeteria or flex funds. Located in Providence and North Logan, Cache Valley ENT also has offices in Box Elder, Rich, Bear Lake, and Franklin counties. The entire team at Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat wish you and your family a healthy holiday season. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for details. Most insurance plans, including Select Health, are accepted.
Let Elements Restaurant take the work out of your Thanksgiving feast. Enjoy a full-course, chef-prepared holiday dinner, perfectly roasted turkey with sage gravy, cranberry sauce, garlic mashed potatoes, whipped sweet potatoes, traditional stuffing, green beans, and your choice of pumpkin pie, apple galette, or pecan pie. All pre-cooked and ready to serve. Available for pickup the Wednesday before Thanksgiving from 3 p.m. to 7:50 p.m. Relax and enjoy a gourmet Thanksgiving at home. Pre-order today. Call Elements Restaurant 750-5171. That's 750-5171. Because great holidays start with great food.
At Top Shed, it's more than just storage. It's style built to last. Simple storage sheds to backyard retreats or the perfect chicken coop. Top Shed has you covered. Custom built with premium materials designed for durability. We'll build right on site in places like Brigham City, Smithfield, Montpelier, and beyond. Don't wait. Late summer and fall are the best time to design, build, and deliver for year-round use. Top Shed, making sheds great again. Call 435-760-7766 or visit topshedusa.com.
Aggie Sports coverage is sponsored in part by LSS Insurance Agency, your local Medicare and Social Security experts on News Talk KVNU, where Utah State is always number one.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to tip your hat to Coach Duff and his group, Weber State. We've been talking about them for 3 days with our group. They got a lot of nice pieces. I think they're going to win a ton of games. I think they'll be right at the top of the league. So I like to give the other team credit when credit's due. But we had no pop, no sizzle for a lot of this game.
It started ugly, turnovers, but you finished the game 6 turnovers. 3 came in the first 2 minutes of the game. So the guards tightened it up, especially in the second half. Talk about your guards, Kolby King and Elijah Perryman coming off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Drake having that injury hurt us. I didn't think he was playing that great when he got hurt. I hate to see guys get hurt their senior year because we're down to 28 games, right? Every game goes by, you have less opportunities to play this game in front of this type of crowd. So I hope he's back. But I thought the way we started was kind of how we've practiced for 2 days. I think nowadays you're watching college basketball, see some really highs, really lows. The kids spend so much time on their cell phones. It's absolutely sickening to me, Spence. They listen to other people's opinions of them, and then it gets in their head. We got to be more process-driven. Very disappointed in my returning guys because they know we've got to prepare better. We're not going to play better. But once again, I really, really credit Weber State. They came out, hit us in the mouth, and really outplayed us for 20 minutes.
You look at the foul trouble that Gary Clark and even Karson got into a little bit. Was that just out of position, or what do you think led to that?
I thought we played really soft. I think rebounding is a great indication. We got out-rebounded by 2. They took the fight to us. Mick Cronin, good friend of mine, UCLA's head coach, he had a great line a month ago that I really like. You have to win the fight before you can win the game, right? We can't go out there and punch guys in the face, physically hit people, but we can hit them on our blockouts. We can have better ball pressure. We can get over the top of screens. We can set good screening angles. We did not win the fight tonight. We won the fight in the last, probably 10 minutes of the game. But to shoot 3 for 23, to get out toughed, throughout most of the game, to get out of here with the win is very, very, we're lucky, to be quite honest with you.
We talked about it at halftime on the radio. They had an edge to it, right?
Yeah.
And it put them in the double bonus. You guys got in the double bonus pretty early in that first. But still, I think from a coaching standpoint, you want to see that out of your team, and they had it on offense and defense on the boards. They had that edge to them. And like you said, it took a while to get there. I felt in the second half you guys did get there, and their edge kind of came off in the second half a little bit where they were – I mentioned to you they were playing from 35 feet most of the second half, it felt like.
Yeah, I agree with that. And every time we got up 14 or 16, we fouled. Yeah. It was a physical game, and this is 2 games. Weber State, hats off to them. They battled a Big 12. They battled a Mountain West. They very well could be 2-0 against those teams. So a lot of times what makes teams really good are that, can you win the fight? Can you have guys step up? And I thought Kolby King tonight won the game for us. I thought our other 2 guards were horrendous. That's as bad as I've seen Falslift play since I've coached, to be honest with you. He was falling down. Very, very lackluster performance from him. And you don't see that very often from Mason. And then he started pressing. He's got to let the game come to him, impact the game in other ways. And I think nowadays, social media in this world we live in, all they think of is scoring. Who really cares? At the end of the day, there's 1.2% of college basketball players are playing in the NBA. I told him the other day, I shared this stat with him, Spence. I said, do you guys realize that 99.98 whatever percent, none of you guys are going to the NBA. You're not playing in front of these types of crowds. Quit worrying about scoring and make the right play. Read the defense. Let the defense tell you what to do and win the fight. And it's just so hard. I mean, you see some of these scores last night. It's abominable.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. College basketball right now is disgusting, and I don't want our guys to fall in that trap. So they probably need to shut their phones off, get back to work tomorrow, get back to work Friday, because you're playing a UTEP team that's going to pressure you and be very chaotic without Drake Allen. He's now an upper sprain of his ankle. He's out. He can barely walk.
So that leads me to my next question. You're going to rely pretty heavily on a true freshman in Elijah Perriman. He had some good moments tonight, but that's going to be a heavy load for him.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. As I tell these guys, it's next man up mentality here. You saw that with Kolby King today. He didn't play too well against VCU. He owned that. And you just got to keep working with this team. They'll get it. But it's going to have to be some tough, hard love. And hopefully they'll put their phones down and quit reading press clippings. That's what it is.
I love exactly where your head's at. Get off the technology, play basketball.
What these people think?
Go.
They didn't think they were real sweet tonight. I didn't think anybody. Did anybody walk out of here tonight and say, "Ooh, those Aggies really share the ball. They defend. They're tough." No. So just get better, man. Quit worrying about what other people think, and you got to be process driven. I mean, that's what life's about. The next thing.
Your assist-to-made field goal ratio is usually really high. Tonight is just a hair over 50%,
Scotty,
15 assists on 29.
It doesn't help when you're 3 for 23.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. Last year's team would have got beat.
Yeah.
We are a little tougher, a little bigger. Gary carried us for a couple stretches. KT carried us. So our big guys are more physical down there, but not tonight. I mean, they got out-rebounded. So it's going to be a long season, as we all know, and as Spence said, you got to take the W. But you got to learn. If you don't learn from these things, you're not going to get any better. It's about growth. So I didn't think we grew from VCU to this game. So it's on the coaching staff. We got to scream and holler, and we have all these dumb tracking devices, that they give us, and they're on their shorts, and Brandon Buskey and this other guy are like, you can't only practice for 80 minutes or 40 minutes. To me, it's like sometimes we got to use our gut, and we should have went a little bit harder. So that's on me as well. I said throw them tracking devices in the garbage.
Cell phones, tracking devices, all that technology needs to go.
I talked to Sprinkle a month ago. He said, because everybody wears these things. It's connects, and he goes, I don't even look at those reports.
Yeah.
I'm going to practice how long I want to practice. So I think I'll do that tomorrow.
And you want to know what? See how they respond. Hopefully the highs of VCU, like you said, social media, the reality of, okay, maybe we're not as good as we think we are. And
Weber's a little better than, obviously, they didn't give him any credit. I've said for 2 days, this team is good.
Yeah, Weber's good.
They're a good team. They're
they are.
second to last. These coaches have no idea what's coming when they play them. That's a good basketball team.
I totally agree.
Coach, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
We'll see you. Have a good one, Coach.
You too.
There he is.
You were there. You watched the game. Or you heard it all here on KVNU. So now it's your chance to give your thoughts and ask your questions about the action as KVNU Aggie Game Day continues with Aggie Call. The phone line is 435-753-KVNU. The text line is 435-554-1175. It's KVNU Aggie Call with J.D. Walker and Stockton Jukes.
And the A is blue out there on top of Old Main. Welcome back to KVNU Aggie Call. J.D. Walker, Stockton Jukes with you. And that is the wrap, 83-73 over Weber State. Joining us on the telephone line for Aggie Call, brought to you by Cafe Sabor. Experience Cafe Sabor at a location near you, Island Park, Idaho Falls, Rexburg, Bear Lake, and right here in Logan. And Adams Wealth Advisor wants to understand your family, job, and hobbies to earn your long-term financial trust. And Jalen joining us on the telephone line right now. My friend, what did you see out there in the Spectrum? A little bit closer than we thought. And I got to tell you, my pregame prediction, totally in the garbage. But a win is a win, right, my friend?
Right. Like I always say, we did win the game. Couldn't shoot literally any worse from three-point line, in the first half. So I like to see that we came out more aggressive to start the second half. We hit some threes, got some momentum back. But I agree with, Coach Calhoun. I thought Weber State is better than a lot of people predicted them to be. Took us a little bit to figure that out, and they took Utah all the way down to the wire in an overtime game. So, I think they're a little bit better than a lot of people expected. But I think in some areas, in some ways as well, like our team just has to play better for a full game. And, if this was a little bit better team and stuff like that, or a team in the Mountain West that we will see, we would have been in trouble in a game like this.
We're talking to Jalen Moore here on KVNU Aggie Call. It is a Blue A night here in Cache Valley. The Aggies undefeated to start the season. Maybe not exactly the way we wanted it to go, but Jalen, who surprised you tonight from the Aggies?
I've been impressed with Clark so far. I really have. I think his consistency, the way that he plays, the energy he plays with, I just think he has to keep that up the entire year. I think that's something that we're just going to need off the bench. And I really thought King gave us a lot of great minutes. He can shoot. He's athletic. He makes the right read. I think those two guys off the bench are going to be very crucial for us. Obviously in the next few games, Elijah Perriman's going to be very important, and so is Jordy Barnes. Drake goes down with an injury, so I think those two guys are going to have to step into a bigger role. And I look forward to seeing how they do that. I liked the rhythm, the swag, all that kind of stuff that Elijah Perriman played with tonight. I think that'll be crucial for us because I think he's just going to keep improving throughout the season.
Talking to Jalen Moore here on Aggie Call, and you can sound off too. We'll get to the text line next, 435-554-1175. That's 435-554-1175. What did you see from the Aggies tonight? Give me your impression of Mr. Kolby King. I got to tell you, Jalen, it listed at 6'1", and we went down there and got to see it with our own eyes and was really focused on it because he had a great game as an Aggie. Welcome to the Aggies, Mr. Kolby King. 15 points and doing it all over the place. But I tell you what, watching the athleticism at 6'1", I watched him from a dead standstill just jump and out-jump the Weber State forward that was trying to get a rebound. And I was like, whoa. I mean, this kid has got hops, Jalen, and he was all over the place out there for our Aggies there in the Spectrum.
Yeah, I agree. He's going to be big, and I like his jumper. He's got a smooth jumper, shoots it with confidence. He doesn't hesitate offensively. He's aggressive. And, yeah, like you said, I think defensively he can guard multiple positions. He dives on loose balls. He plays hard. He can rebound. 6'1", he has 15 points, 8 rebounds. That right there shows you that he's in there rebounding with the bigs and stuff like that. So I like that energy that he plays with. And like I said, I think him and Gary Clark might be two of our most, crucial key guys throughout this season as we go forward. I think they just have to keep being aggressive off the bench and just keep improving as well.
Looking at the total rebounds for the Aggies on the night, Kolby King, 6'1" guard, leading the Aggies in rebounding. Of course, you heard Coach Calhoun. The Weber State beat the Aggies in the rebounding on the boards. Is that an area of concern with you as you look to the next couple of games we got coming up?
Yeah, that was one thing I was going to say before the game that makes me a little bit nervous. I had seen that Weber State is a good rebounding team. I was excited to see us go against them. But, yeah, they got a lot of second-chance points, a lot of O boards. That doesn't look good for us. I think, like I said, I like the energy from Gary Clark. I like the energy from King on the boards. But as a team, we have to be better, especially when we start playing these stronger, more athletic teams that we're going to be seeing in the Mountain West, especially, Pac-12 going forward. So these are things that we're going to have to work on for the future, and that's going to be a key going forward. I like that we limited the turnovers. We only had 6, so you see the improvement there. But I would like to see the improvement big time in the three-point consistency as well as the rebounding going forward.
We're talking to Jalen Moore, former Utah State Aggie, here on KVNU Aggie Call. The text line open for your feedback, 435-554-1175. Brought to you by Advanced Fireplace and Stove. Keep your eyes open for the state of Utah's fireplace change-out program. Advanced Fireplace and Stove can help walk you through all that at 752-7272. And Primrose Health and Hospice offering you exceptional home health care in the comfort of your home. Now, Jalen, as we wrap up here, it is a win. Not the 21-point blowout that we thought, or even a 50-point blowout that I predicted in the pregame. But we don't need to talk about that, right? A win is a win. But 3 for 23 shooting. Have you ever experienced that in your career in basketball where, the team it was ice? You still got to win. But listening to the postgame, it sounds like, yeah, you got the W. The A is blue. But Coach Calhoun may be making the guys run in the Estes here really quick after the game.
Yeah, like you said, you got to win. 3-0 on the season, good start. But I think everybody, fans, coaches, players, we all know they can play better. I think they will play better. They'll figure it out. They've got veteran leadership. They've got guys that can really score the ball. They got guys that can shoot. And we're winning. We're not playing that great offensively, but we're still winning. So I think that's an improvement that way you can make. But, yeah, Calhoun, wasn't satisfied. I like it. I like the hunger to get better, to continue improving. They're going to get back to the drawing board tomorrow, and it sounds like the next couple practices are going to be pretty rough. But I think, Saturday comes around, I think we see a different energy and a different team against UTEP.
That's right. The next time we talk to Jalen will be on Saturday. We're going to kick off a supersized edition of KVNU Aggie Game Day. It's going to kick off at noon because, folks, we got a doubleheader. We've got actually a triple or quadruple if you count volleyball. Women's hoops in the Spectrum at 11, and then we've got men's hoop in the Spectrum at 2. And down in the city of Fat Elvis, We've got the Aggies taking on UNLV at Allegiant Stadium for football. It is going to be a jammed-packed day here on KVNU. We'll have all the action for you. A supersized pregame, supersized postgame, as there's not going to be any time in between the two, the basketball and football game, for us to join you. But, Jalen, we'll talk to you then. Any first thoughts coming up against UTEP? Anything concern you that you see tonight? This one, according to the matchup predictor, says this should be a pretty handy Aggie win. But as we saw tonight, that may not be the case.
Yeah, I know that they're going to be an aggressive team. They're going to be guys that try to turn us over. Going to have athletes. So, not a concern, but I just think we're going to have to be more hard-nosed, more tough on the boards, because I think this is a team that is going to be pretty athletic. They're going to get a lot of second-chance points. They're going to send a lot of guys to the boards. I think 1 through 5 have to be ready to rebound, and I think that's probably going to be the biggest key. We have to win the rebounding battle that game. I don't think we can lose the rebounding battle to a team like UTEP. Especially going forward, to show that we can compete at a high level in the Mountain West as well. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, is our rebounding.
All right, Jalen, you have a good night, and we'll talk to you on Saturday, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, take care. Jalen Moore, brought to you by DD Auto and Salvage, Cache Valley's #1 place to get the most money for your junk vehicles and scrap metal. Pardon me, hiccups there. A West Valley Motor Company. Drive into fall in a new Ram, Jeep, or truck, or Chrysler. Call, click, or visit West Motor Company today. Going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Aggie Call here on KVNU.
Thank you for letting Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic, and the Hearing Aid Center care for your family this year. Be sure to call us for an appointment before the end of the year to make the most of your cafeteria or flex funds. Located in Providence and North Logan, Cache Valley ENT also has offices in Box Elder, Rich, Bear Lake, and Franklin counties. The entire team at Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat wish you and your family a healthy holiday season. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for details. Most insurance plans, including Select Health, are accepted.
Old McDarrell has a farm and appliance farm
with down-home country prices and big city selection.
E-I-E-I-O. When you're looking for a friendly spot to drive a little and save a lot, hey, Old McDarrell has a farm, an appliance farm. Darrell's Appliance. Low overhead, but lots of country charm. See Darrell's Appliance in beautiful downtown Benson.
At Mountain Valley Heating and Air, it's more than just service. They provide top-quality installations for both residential and commercial spaces. So you're not just getting equipment, you're getting a whole team of professionals dedicated to making sure you and your family truly feel the love. Whether it's a brand new installation or replacing an old system, trust the experts who care. Feel the love with Mountain Valley Heating and Air. That's mtnvalleyhvac.com.
Of today's game and your chance to talk about it. It's KVNU Aggie Call with J.D. Walker and Stockton Jukes.
It's the night shift here on Aggie Call, and getting your feedback on the Aggies win 83-73 over Weber State. 435-554-1175 to hit up the KVNU text line, brought to you by LSS Insurance. Google LSS ISS today. If you're overwhelmed with Medicare rules, regulations, and questions, that's LSS Insurance. And heading over to the text line at Aggie Call as we continue here on KVNU.
Get your thoughts in here on Aggie Call, 435-554-1175. That text line 0783 has this to say: an early season close game we do win isn't the end of the world. One thing easily forgotten is the same team that beat TCU in the dance a couple years ago also had a game at home early in the year where they struggled more than we would have liked them against a poor Southern Utah team that finished 10-21. Not a bad point. And listen, again, I tweeted this out at halftime, but there was a lot of doom and gloom that I saw on social media at halftime. I really didn't think it was that bad of a first half. Tied 41 at the half, going to the break, and really there were two main identifiable problems for Utah State. like has been mentioned, they were 0 for 9 from 3 at halftime. Didn't hit their first 3 until 21 minutes in and really struggled to hit threes. And then Gary Clark, after picking up 2 fouls early on, spent 12 minutes on the bench in the first half. And
cheap fouls.
We lost rebounds that way. No, the Zebras were trigger happy as heck tonight. And I'm not as mad about it because it seemed pretty even on both sides when you go back and you compare the fouls. Utah State was called for 22 personal fouls, 21 for Weber State. So even on both sides, just real trigger happy. And yeah, I think not pretty, but not a nightmare by any means.
Next up, 4-8-2-9. Nice to see the boys pull out a win. It's nice to see we can win and hit shots even when the threes aren't falling. And like last year, 3 for 23. I don't think we're going to get many of those. Also, shout out to Craig Smith for being in the building tonight. Thought he would avoid the place like the parade, but it's nice to see him back in there. His son Brady plays for Weber State. So, yeah, he was on the Kiss Cam, I believe, up there. Up next, 6001 here on Aggie Call. Seems like the offense was standing around long for the first half. Touchy refs for the night.
Yeah, slow to get started for the offense. Didn't really settle into a rhythm. Gave up some rebounds. And, again, just real trigger happy from the refs. But that's typically what you can expect from a Vern Harris-led crew. So
up next, that's kind of. Do we still get the Culvers? No, it is Arctic Circle. It's a promotion if they score 85 points. Glad we pulled off the upset, but Kolby King should have shot the last shot to get us ice cream. 4-5-4-5. I'm going to recommend you talk to Coach Calhoun about that because he was actually upset about that at the end of the game. He was pretty lit about that. So I'm not sure that's where we want to go with that.
No, and I agree with him there. Get a 10-point win against an in-state rival. Be respectful. Get out the door. Go away with your win and be happy with it.
Yeah, it's you don't want to add on there, but I get it. Ice cream's ice cream, but you know what? 83-73, we'll take the dub.
We don't need to play into the crappy mentality that some teams south of us seem to have on a nightly basis.
Up next on the KVNU Aggie Call text line 4396. Wow, Coach didn't mince words tonight. 4396. If you think that was spicy, I got a feeling I got a 10-minute press conference coming up here in just about 7 minutes here on KVNU that will roll out before we get on out of here. But that is coming up. 9315 texting NCC, the Smith signing. Let us know, even past coach, who's the best team. Yeah, he's there to see his kid get spanked. 9315 also, after listening to Coach, can someone give the whole team an NIA deal where they get a flip phone? Yeah, we could go on and talk about this a lot. You're not getting the cat in the bag. It's not happening. You can require it. You can do all sorts of things. Tell them to put down a phone. It is not going to happen. It's not going to get back in the bag. Whether it should or not, that's up for debate or anything. But it's just like, unless you do something like the school system's done here, like ban phones completely, it's going to be his things. I don't think anybody's getting a flip phone dealer's deal.
I was surprised how many times Calhoun brought that up. It was like 3 or 4 times in the 5 minutes he was on the air with Scotty. He just kept saying the kids need to put their dang phones down.
I think he caught somebody, and he's not outing them, but he's making the comments
absolutely
public enough that it's going to come back through.
Yeah, he said verbatim, the boys need to quit worrying about what other people think. It sounds like he attributes a lot of that first half sloppiness to them trying to make flashy plays and not the right plays. You heard him say, you guys need to quit trying to score points and make the right read, make the right play. A lot of those quick trigger threes in the first half that weren't falling were poor shot attempts. I thought that Karson had a great game, but 3 of those threes that he took in the first half were bad shots.
I think it was just a slow start. We're 3 games in. The team's still kind of finding the rhythm. The old school players that have been here, the OGs, and then the new kids coming in and showing out. And total together, they're all putting up W's to start the season. 8968 up next. As I kept telling them on the Full Court Press, this Weber State team is a very good team and a very good program. When the Aggies have blown out Weber, it's been a rarity. Yes, 8968. The next time we play Weber State, I am definitely going to keep that in mind with my prediction. Who am I kidding? I probably won't.
No, but listen, I don't think that there's going to be very many nights where we shoot 3 for 23, a whopping 13% from deep. So
yeah,
I don't think we need to worry too much about that. 79-94, moving on up. Thank goodness for tougher big men this year and a quality bench. Man, I'm very happy with what Gary Clark had tonight, and I think he would have had a better night if he doesn't get thrown out of the game in the last 4 minutes because he had 4 ticky-tack fouls whistled on him.
I think because of Gary and Karson tonight, I think
Yes.
I think that's and a lot. Coach King and Perryman, you can get there too, but Karson started a little slow and then brought the fire, man. And it was just
he was wired in that second half. He and MJ were having a great time in the second half, getting the herd into it, and then 5 for 5 from the field for Gary, 3 for 5 from free throw. He'll clean that up. Big men can be a liability at the stripe. It happens, but 5 rebounds from him too. He had a couple big boards for Utah State, and I was really pleased that he took advantage of that size advantage we were talking about in the pregame.
And next up on the text line here on Aggie Call, coming up in just about 4 minutes, Coach Calhoun's postgame presser. It's 4-1-5-1 on the text line. I'd like to see Coach limit Karson and Tucker to no more than 2 or 3 3-point attempts a game.
Karson, yes, but Tucker, no. That's kind of his bread and butter. He's a shooter.
It is. And you know what? I'm going to let Karson do whatever he wants to do after a performance like this tonight. They are going to fall. And it wasn't just Karson. It wasn't just Tucker. It was 3 for $1 million, it felt like.
No, Karson is certainly not the scapegoat here, and he shouldn't be. The 3 threes that he did take in the first half were, not the most well-advised shots, but 7 for 14 from the field. Outside of that, 2 for 2 from the stripe, 2 points away from tying his career high, and he almost got there at the end.
And our last text before we take a break and get into Coach Calhoun's comments here on Aggie Call. Happy to see King and Perryman spark throughout the game. Agree with that. Nobody remembered Nigel Burgess. Nigel sure had a chip on his shoulder throughout the game, intrigued by Coach's comments about on social media. We're not sure, and I'm not sure if anything's going to come out, but it sure sounds like a message was shot across the bow. And Nigel Burris was here for a minute, like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, he was here. He was on the team in 22 that beat TCU in the tournament, but he barely contributed
and nothing. Yeah. And so it's such a quick.
That was his freshman year, and I think he's a senior now. So.
Yeah, I mean it's so quick of a turnaround today's an age, and we 88 squirrel. Like it's just so. Yeah, I didn't see the herd giving him any business, but we're going to go ahead and take a break here on KVNU Aggie Call. Coach Calhoun's postgame presser coming up. If you want to sound off about anything you saw tonight, or maybe Coach Calhoun's postgame thoughts, you could do so. The text line's still open, 435-554-1175. That's 435-554-1175.
Hi, this is Brooke Stevenson.
Ty Smith.
And David Castor with Adams Wealth Advisors. We're truly honored to be named Best of Northern Utah Gold winner for the Best Financial Planner. This community means everything to us, and we're grateful for every customer who made this possible. Thank you for your trust.
Advisory services offered through Adams Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. For important disclosures and more information, visit adamswealthadvisors.com. That's adamswealthadvisors.com.
Thank you for letting Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic, and the Hearing Aid Center care for your family this year. Be sure to call us for an appointment before the end of the year to make the most of your cafeteria or flex funds. Located in Providence and North Logan, Cache Valley ENT also has offices in Box Elder, Rich, Bear Lake, and Franklin counties. The entire team at Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat wish you and your family a healthy holiday season. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for details. Most insurance plans, including Select Health, are accepted.
Let Elements Restaurant take the work out of your Thanksgiving feast. Enjoy a full-course, chef-prepared holiday dinner, perfectly roasted turkey with sage gravy, cranberry sauce, garlic mashed potatoes, whipped sweet potatoes, traditional stuffing, green beans, and your choice of pumpkin pie, apple galette, or pecan pie. All pre-cooked and ready to serve. Available for pickup the Wednesday before Thanksgiving from 3 p.m. to 7:50 p.m. Relax and enjoy a gourmet Thanksgiving at home. Pre-order today. Call Elements Restaurant 750-5171. That's 750-5171. Because great holidays start with great food.
At Top Shed, it's more than just storage. It's style built to last. Simple storage sheds to backyard retreats or the perfect chicken coop. Top Shed has you covered. Custom built with premium materials designed for durability. We'll build right on site in places like Brigham City, Smithfield, Montpelier, and beyond. Don't wait. Late summer and fall are the best time to design, build, and deliver for year-round use. Top Shed, making sheds great again. Call 435-760-7766 or visit TopShedUSA.com.
This Aggie broadcast is brought to you by Advanced Heating and Air, 3-time Best of Northern Utah gold medalist on News Talk KVNU, where Utah State is always number one.
9:45 here on Aggie Call, 435-554-1175 if you want to sound off on the text line. Right now, post-game comments from Coach Calhoun after the Aggies win 83-73 over Weber State. And thanks to Jason Walker of the Full Court Press for attending the press conference and getting us Calhoun's comments here on KVNU.
Weber State, I mean, how different is this? Every team changes a ton, but how different is the team from last year when you faced them in an exhibition game?
Yeah, I mean, I think every team we're going to play from year to year here on out in college basketball will be different. I think they'll stick with some of their same concepts, but Coach Duff's been there a long time. He was a long-time assistant going into year 4 as a head coach. He's got a great system. I think they do a really good job of getting the ball side to side and getting advantages with their ball movement. But yeah, I think they have 4 returning players that have had some equity build up over there at Weber State. But they're a really good team. I'm not sure what the coaches in that conference were thinking, picking them second to last. That's not what I see on film. I think they're really good.
I'm sorry, guys. That is a little file mess up here on Aggie Game Day. I grabbed the wrong their press conference there from Coach Calhoun. Hold on just one second. Let me see if I can pull this up. Stockton, I think we don't have the comments just yet here on KVNU. I thought that was the updated file. I'm going to have to grab in there.
I wonder if Calhoun needed a second to gather his breath after screaming his lungs out in the locker room, because if he was that animated with Scotty, I can't imagine it was very fun being in the room once he got off that headset.
Yeah, hold on. Now I've got the proper press conference from Coach Calhoun. Here's his post-game thoughts against Weber State here on Aggie Call.
Really seemed to get anything on except at the foul line.
I thought you were going to ask me how bad the game was, the first and the 40 minutes. No, I mean, first of all, Weber State, I told their coach, Coach Duff, he's become a pretty good friend of mine. They got a wonderful team. They got pieces that really fit. I like watching them play. When they play basketball, they play the right way. They can shoot the ball. But the thing that is very undervalued with their team that these other teams in their league are getting ready to find out is they impose their will like no other on the glass. And that was the glaring stat of the game, right? I mean, I thought we got physically manhandled. I thought we played very entitled. And we had, talked about this for 3 days. But, in today's landscape of rev share, transfer portal, college athletics, it's not like the old days where it's, you're schematically, it's a lot of mental, right? It's a lot of trying to motivate a group of guys, 10 new players, to get them to understand how good these teams are, how hard winning is. And we haven't went through it yet, right? So we'll get better from this. But it was painful, 3 for 23. That's misery. My teams, I don't know when the last time we've done that. It was tough to watch. But I give Kolby a lot of credit. I thought Gary, KT, those kids played really, really hard. But I thought Weber played awesome.
Coach, playing with that pace is a big part of your identity. Obviously, with all those fouls, you can't really do that as much. Forces you to execute in the half court. Just how do you feel like the execution in the half court and exploiting those mismatches improved throughout the game?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. We're work in progress. We're not there yet offensively. We're having to play 2 big lineups. Tuck's got to get tougher. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Him and Adlan Alameen, they've got to get tougher. Tuck's done a great job with his body, but he's got to get tougher. I thought MJ and Mason really, really struggled. I hadn't seen Falsla play like that in a year and a half since I've coached him. I mean, you got to give credit to Weber State. They really did a good job on him. So it's a work in progress. We got 2 days to get ready for UTEP. I got a chance to watch them last night. They're going to be in the passing lanes. Elijah Perryman, obviously, and Jordy Barnes are going to be a part of that game. Drake will probably be out, high ankle sprain. But we've got to cut better spacing. And I thought our offense was not very good.
How much do you think the physicality that Weber State played with impacted the offense, especially early on where it really was slow start?
Yeah, I mean, they really they hit you. Mick Cronin gave me a great line about a month and a half ago. We had a great conversation, and He said, you can't win a game without winning the fight. Now, we can't physically punch people in the face and, deliberately, have blows like boxing, but we can deliver good screens, good box outs, a physicality, right? They won the fight tonight. Weber State won the fight for about 32, 33 minutes. And then we finally fought back the last 8 or 9. I thought Kolby King was awesome. He really owned it. He didn't think he played that well against VCU. He gave up 10 points in 10 minutes, right? So we didn't play him a lot. The bottom line is, guys are going to get rewarded. And it's just, it's the entitlement. I thought we played very entitled, and that's not how we play basketball, right? We don't, take quick shots. We share the ball. We get to the next advantage. We play physical. We get the blockouts. We didn't do that, and we got to get back to the drawing board tomorrow, because what happens is these games happen so fast, right? And each game you're going to learn a little bit more about your team. And you got to stay off social media. Like, I love you guys. You guys have been fair to me. You love the Aggies. You guys write great stories. We got numbers guys. I read your articles based on, the analytics, but not your opinions, right? And I think our guys really, really value too many people's opinions. I hear they say they're up on social media and they can't sleep. For what? Who cares what people think of you? You have to be very process-driven, and that's what becoming a team is, right? When you start believing the hype, you're going to get knocked down. And I shared an article about the Oklahoma City Thunder. They've got a very young, hungry team. It was on ESPN today about staying process-driven and staying in the now, right? And I think people overstep life. They're always worried about the future. And I say, guys, 1.2% of college basketball players are going to the NBA. That's it. Enjoy the experience, because most of you guys are going across the pond. You're playing overseas basketball in front of very few people the first couple of years, and you're back to square one. Play good basketball. Let the defense tell you what you need to do offensively, and play a team game, and who cares what people think of you on social media. I think we started reading our clippings too much.
Coach, weren't pleased with the offense. One area that you saw major improvement was the turnovers, which I know was a really pressing issue these first couple of games. Just what do you think led to more efficiency in that area?
Yeah, we make them run a lot, at practice. It's 5 turnovers, and then they got to run a 22. It resets to 4. Weber did a great job. They didn't really let us get out and run a ton, and then when we had threes, we couldn't hit it. Literally, we had wide open looks and just couldn't knock them down. So we got to continue to do that. We should have had probably 25 assists. If you make, we missed 23. That's hard to do.
You mentioned the three-point shooting, but one area where you guys weren't cold was inside the arc, where you were 19 and 26 around the rim. I think 29 of 46 on 2-pointers overall. How important was it that in at least that area you guys weren't shooting cold?
Yeah, Gary and KT, really, Jason, I've said this, we're different from last year. Each team's different. Auburn was one of the best lob threats. He was 6'11", and you could throw pick-and-roll lobs like no other. These guys are different, right? Each set of kids is different. They can score the ball around the basket. And if we don't make shots, like the last 2 games, guys, we're averaging 4.5 threes. Like, that's horrendous. That's about as bad as it gets, right? We made 6 against VCU. We made 3. We're winning ugly. And I said that. When you got a group of 10 new guys, expectations are extremely high, which they should be. But you got to find ways to win. So the one thing I am proud of is we found a way to win tonight, shooting 3 for 23.
Kind of on that, you mentioned Mason really struggled tonight, kind of the first time we've seen a game like this in a while. Same with MJ, but you did have Kolby who stepped up and KT and different players. What is it like, what's the messaging to just next guy up?
Yeah, be a team guy, prepare each day, be process-driven, produce in practice, watch extra film. I was telling those guys on air, we got these little tracking devices, right, connects on, and they just don't let us practice. We're very by the book, so we don't get a ton of practice time, right? So you get to about a 500 workload, and we shut them down. And, that's about an hour practice yesterday. That's it, So every rep really matters. I shared Tom Brady stuff with him this week. I watched a documentary on Brady and talked about leadership and not skipping steps. And I knew this was coming. That's the worst part, I think, as a coach. You certainly would rather win than lose because, let's call it like it is. You lose home games against quad threes or quad fours, you're done, right? Like your resume is toast. So at this level, you got to be on edge every day, right? Like it needs to be our Super Bowl every day. It's been my Super Bowl since I got this job, right? Like every day I'm ready to go. Like it's go time. There's 9,000, 10,000 fans that we don't want to let down. And we got to prepare the next 2 days because I think UTEP will be coming in angry, right? Like they played a great first half the other night against LMU, and LMU kind of, beat them in the second half. So you're getting a team that's coming off a loss. Weber State, let's call it like it is. They should have beat Utah. The game was won, right? Like the game was over. They should have beat Utah out of the Big 12. They didn't. So they came in here. They didn't hang their hats or their heads. They came out and punched us. And I love that team. Like I hope they win every game. Obviously, it helps our numbers too.
Ask about the defensive pairing of Kolby and Elijah. When they're on the floor together, there's a lot of havoc, a lot going on. What works for those two, especially in the press?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to put it. It's a lot of havoc, right? It's a lot of havoc. It's a lot of, Spencer Nelson was a great player here. He understands basketball. If you look at Elijah's hands, they're enormous. If you look at Elijah's arms, his wingspan is enormous. Kolby can move laterally like no other. So those two kids will be ball hawks, right? They'll be guys you can just really turn people and wear people down. And that takes a toll on your offense. So we got to continue to do that. And we also went some man-to-man. But once again, we gave up 73. If the offense wasn't so bad, we probably are in the 60s, in the fouls. So we got to clean up the fouling. You put them at the foul line 26 times. Or is it 28? It's ridiculous.
Coach Calhoun's post-game thoughts here on KVNU Aggie Call. J.D. Walker, Stockton Jukes with you, wrapping things up. Still a couple minutes to get your final thoughts in at 435-554-1175. Stockton,
oh, he's mad.
Oh, he's really
he's
mad. Should we drive by the Estes after we leave here?
No.
You don't think they're going to be running lines?
No. I would stay far away from the Wayne Estes Center tonight, and for the next 2 days, there's going to be nuclear meltdown happening on the practice floor down there. So, goodness gracious. They're running a 22 tomorrow for sure. They might run 2 just for fun.
What is a 22? Can you help enlighten me?
It's a lot of running. It's a lot of cardio.
Lines, wind sprints, foul lines, line stuff. Suicides? Is that what it is? Is that what they were called? Sorry.
I think you'd call it lines if they meant lines. 22. I can't remember specifically what it is, but it's. I just remember it's a lot of running.
I remember I played basketball and I realized that I wasn't athletically inclined to run from the baseline to the free throw line under the same basket. By the way,
I think he's talking about a sub 22 5K.
Oh.
So that means you got to do 3.2 in 22 minutes, which means your mile pace has to be about 7 minutes per mile.
Oh my goodness. Man, I can't even do that in a car. I think my fastest 5K was probably around 35 minutes, but I don't move that fast.
Well, I was not a runner. I played baseball because it's 90 feet at a time.
I played bench. That's it, baseball too. I was the best water boy and bench player you could see.
I did love basketball in my time too, but I was never one that was going to run the floor very, very well.
Yeah.
So.
Coach Calhoun pretty fired up tonight, and if you listen to that, you would almost expect the Aggies lost. Am I kind of hearing that?
Yeah, I'm surprised with how hard he's going in on his guys. He's calling them out by name. He's saying Tuck's got to get stronger. Mason had a terrible game, the worst he's ever seen him play in 18 months. Some real no pulling punches from Calhoun, and I think I
wonder if those are the headlines Coach wants them to read now. If you're gonna read headlines, like he said. And hey, it's a tough thing.
I think a lot of this is residual from some off-court activity that's been going on for this team and some locker room activity that's been going on for this team because this is
that we're never probably going to get the info on.
No, and we shouldn't. And that's what Calhoun does well is he's happy to be passionate. He's happy to be vocal about things that are frustrating him when it's appropriate, but he's not going to out the inner workings of the team and the private business of the team. That being said, there's a lot more to that reaction than just what happened on the floor tonight. So I think there's some backstory to a lot of what's going on there. I think that practice is going to be kind of brutal for him tomorrow, and I don't think that Calhoun's going to be as kind as he would with such a short turnaround since they're playing again on Saturday at 2.
Yeah, it's probably going to be something you're going to see. And how will this team respond? I mean, how will this team respond to a 10-point win over Weber State, but a really disappointed coach that's got some fire in him right now that's saying, hey, you guys got to step up.
And they struggled with the physicality they got from Weber State tonight. UTEP, like Coach mentioned, is coming off of a tough loss to LMU. Shout out to my uncle Lou Wilson, who's on the coaching staff out there. He was actually an assistant for Utah State several years ago, but great guy. Love that guy. LMU beat him 71-58 on Tuesday, so last night, and it really was a much closer game than that box score says. But UTEP, I think, is going to be playing with some fire. They're going to come out physical. They're going to come out and challenge you physically, which is what Weber did very well in the first half, and Utah State was not ready for that kind of a physical matchup. So, I think they're getting run. I think they're going to be doing a lot of lifting. I think they're going to be doing a lot of just, cardio, fundamental drills, stuff like that. And I think they'll be better prepared for Saturday.
You think they'll be ready to go? Coming in at 0158. Eric should go see Aggies men. They're closed. You can't go into the practices and stuff like that. That's the thing. We're not going to get any of the scoop. The only way you're going to get the scoop is if somebody breaks ranks, and if somebody breaks ranks, they're probably going to be in serious trouble. So it's not anything. I would even say we're privileged too, because this is the team and between the coach and stuff like that. But you can definitely see there is some smoke there, probably a little fire. Real quick, I'm going to handle the finals, and I'm going to let you go ahead and keep an eye on the current game going. Colorado State holding serve at home in Fort Collins at Moby Arena, taking care of Cal Poly 93-79, and Utah State taking care of business over Weber State 83-73, and Fresno State representing for the best of the conference 73-78, losing to UC San Diego. There at the Save Mart Center in Fresno, probably not great. And Stockton, I'm going to let you actually watching the game in real time right now.
Yeah, Southern Illinois just hit the front end of a 1-1. They're up 71-69 with 18 seconds remaining, and Nevada just took another timeout. So another free throw coming for the Salukis on the back end of this timeout. Yeah, what a mascot for them. But Southern Illinois about to take down UNR State Penitentiary College.
I love the fact I shared this. You told me that the media guide says this, that, and that. Don't call them this, don't call them that. But if you want to direct people to
waiting for this.
University of Nevada's website, you have to go to unr.edu.
Also, let's remember what they put on the front of each and every one of their football buses on Saturday.
UNR. Yeah, every single bus, the equipment bus and everything out. I think we're going to try to ride it out here for a couple seconds to get you this Southern Illinois.
They're coming back out for the second half of this 1-1. I really think that if Southern Illinois hits this free throw, we might just be done in Nevada. You got to give credit, though. Their student section, at least, is trying to drag them back in this one. Outside of the student section, attendance is sparse in Reno.
I think it's just the 80s family, maybe. The 80s family realizing we should probably look and see if we're moving. Running down the points of the night real quick, it looks like your top point getter of the night, Mr. Karson Templin, the heart and soul of this Aggie team. He did it with 16 points, 5 rebounds, 4 personal fouls, 1 steal. What you got?
Southern Illinois hit the front end, or hit the back end, but then gave Nevada a wide open 3, 72-72. SIU has the shot for the win. Driving left side, pull up mid-range. That was blocked off the front of the rim. We're going to overtime.
So the Wolfpack and Southern Illinois going to overtime.
Illinois.
Let's break down the rest of these stats. Karson at 16, Kolby King, the new addition at 15. Then you got Gary Clark coming in at 13 and Mason Foslev at 10. Tucker Anderson at 9, MJ Collins with 7. And you got Elijah Perryman, 6. But I don't think it tells the whole story with him. He had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and also 3 steals out there. Drake Allen doing it with 3 points. Of course, 1 block, big block there under the rim. Eric Franson mentioned he's good for one of those a game, and definitely saw that. 2 steals from Drake. Overall,
he had quick hands right before he went out. The end of that first half, he was looking really good on the defensive end.
Him and Perryman interrupted more balls that just went out of bounds and kind of reset things.
Yeah, Utah State got their hands on 10 steals tonight, only turned the ball over 6 times as a team, but then took the ball away from Weber State. When you look at their turnover numbers, 13 times. So 3 turnovers outside of steals, but then 10 steals as opposed to just 6 that you give away as a team. It was a really strong performance.
And I got to tell you, Stockton, I do not think we're going to see another performance this season. Knock on wood, all sorts of, where's my head? There it is, knock on rocks, that the Aggies go 3 for 23 from the field, right?
I hope not. I hope not. It should be a once-a-season type of shooting performance. It's nice to get it out of the way with Weber State, but yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything that, to use Coach's favorite word tonight, lackluster again.
Oh, yeah. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up here on Aggie Call. That's going to do it for Stockton Jukes. I'm J.D. Walker. The next time we're going to talk to you, a supersized edition. It's going to be a hoops and football edition of KVNU Aggie Game Day, getting you all ready to go. Kicking off at noon on Saturday. It is a quadruple header. You've got volleyball earlier in the day up at the Spectrum at 11 o'clock. Check out Coach Westbrook's team. They just beat Bakersfield. They're coming back home. They're kicking off a triple header up there at the Spectrum. You got them kicking off at 11. Then Aggie basketball, Coach Calhoun and company with UTEP coming into town at 2 o'clock. And then all eyes turn down to Vegas as our Aggies and Coach Bronco Mendenhall take on the Runnin' Rebels at Allegiant Stadium. All the coverage will be here on 102.1 FM 610 AM KVNU and KVNUtalk.com.
Got to give shout-outs to some other sporting events going on this weekend. A couple high school football teams from the Valley in the state playoffs.
Yep.
Tomorrow night, Ridgeline will play, Provo. Ridgeline will play Provo in the first semifinal in 4A. That's 6 p.m. kickoff.
Provo's going to run into a buzzsaw from Thrillville.
Yeah, Garrick Orchard's a great quarterback. He got the best of Green Canyon to start the season, but I think Ridgeline's walked them through the state championship. Green Canyon will play Friday night at 6 p.m. They will play Crimson Cliffs, who has knocked them out of the playoffs the last 2 years in a row. Volleyball's got a chance to clinch the Mountain West title outright tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, yeah.
They are on the road in conference. They will be playing Fresno State at Fresno. They'll be back home next week.
And Friday night down at BYU, 6 o'clock. Our Aggies take on BYU in the NCAA tournament. Coach Manny Martins and company. We'll have a recap of all those events and all the action on Saturday. Join us at noon right here on 102.1 FM, 610 AM KVNU. And we guys hope you have a great night. We'll see you back here, actually for me, tomorrow morning on the Valley's Morning News. Stockton will be back with us on Saturday. Good night, Aggie fans. It's a blue night out there, and we'll see you next time.
Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Come on, baby.
This Utah State broadcast has been a presentation of News Talk KVNU and the Cache Valley Media Group, the heritage home for the Aggies.